Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Rabbi Shali Sadri, Vayassali Amri, Walaludata Melisani Qali, Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Okay, how is everyone? Hope that you all are well, doing well, studying well. Today we are solving one more paper, Cambridge IGCSE, paper 2, Computer Science, that is Algorithms, Programming and Logic. This is 047821, May, June 2025. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 45 minutes, and let's move on to the instructions. You have to answer the question paper. No additional materials are needed. Answer all questions. Use a dark blue or black pen. You are allowed to use HB pencil for any diagrams or graphs. Write your name, center number, and the candidate number in the given boxes at the top of the page. Write your answer to each question in the given space. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not work on any barcodes. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators must not be used in the paper, so please do not carry the calculators to the examination hall. Paper is of 75 marks. The number of marks for each question or part question are given in brackets. There is no mark awarded in case of using the brand name, so please refrain from using the brand names completely. Moving to the first question. Pick one box to identify the type of test to only check for the largest or smallest acceptable value. Now, first thing that you need to know is you have to talk about the test that is for the largest and or smallest value only. So which one is the right one? You can answer. Normal test data, abnormal test data, extreme test data, or boundary test data. Which one is the right one? Okay, it's extreme test data, because in extreme, we have to use either the largest or the smallest acceptable value. So your answer for question number 1 is part C. Now move to question number 2. 4 requirements for validating inputs and 5 types of validation checks are given. Draw one line from each requirement to the most appropriate validation check. Not all validation checks will be used. Now I'm giving you a minute to solve, and then we will discuss it. Okay, done? Now let's do. Date of birth must be between 0101-1900 and 0101-2010. Name has been entered. Password has exactly 12 characters. Student ID must contain 2 letters followed by a 4-digit number. Length check, format check, range check, check digit, and presence check. Now, what is the first one? Date of birth must be between 1/1/1900 till 1/1/2010. That is your range check. Okay. Name has been entered. It means it is not left blank. It means it is going to be your presence check. Okay. Now, password has exactly 12 characters. This is your length check. Student ID must contain 2 letters followed by a 4-digit number. This is your format check. So I hope that our answers are matching. So this is the final answer. You're drawn with the proper scale. Definitely marks are going to be yours. 4 marks are yours. Now, one more, part B. Identify and describe one verification check that could be applied when a new password is input into a system. Now it's the validation check. A validation check is asked in the beginning. Now it is verification check. So here you can recall verification check is visual check or double entry. So a student can write any, and in this manner, he will be able to definitely score a mark for that. And then description, like you are asked to describe the validation check also, the verification check also. So if a student has written visual check, so it means he must describe it in simple way, then look at the data that has been entered and confirm it matches. So this is how you will actually score the marks. So you can see for yourself This is just given for you to comprehend that out of these three, the marks distribution will be in this manner, that if you have written the right verification check, 1 mark will be awarded, and then 2 more marks are there, and it means that you have to write 2 valid description points to gain 2 out of 2 for your description. So if a student has written visual check, so he can write something like the same data is entered twice, and it is ensuring that both the values entered are matching or not. That is the description of visual check. Now, the data and confirm it matches or not. Like what you can see is whatever is on the source document, is it matching on whatever is on the screen? That is your visual check. Second one is double entry. This is something that you have been aware of doing quite frequently. Enter data twice, the same data, and will be only accepting if the values are identical, if the values are exactly same, as is the case with your password entry. So if again the student has written the right verification check and has described accurately, it means that marks are his. One, visual check, description in red. Second, double entry check, that is going to be in green. And in this manner, he will be able to score 3 out of 3. Now moving to the next question. The following pseudocode algorithm uses a count control loop to read intent names and store them in the array names. A count control loop. And you can see this is the count control loop. For count equals to 1 to 10. Output, please enter a name. Input name. Names of count, like names is your array, be clear. And this names array is containing total of 10 locations. And you are asked to take input and store it in the respective location. Now, this is your question. You can see this is the for loop. This is the next one. And inside this, we are taking input in the variable, and then names is my array. And its count location will be holding the name input by the user. Rewrite the algorithm in pseudocode using a condition control loop instead of a count control loop. Now, then we are expected to write the structure using a condition control loop. Now, I hope that we all know condition control loop means that we are talking about the what? We are talking about repeat until or are. We are talking about the repeat until loop, or we are talking about the while loop. So this is done in this manner. If a student has chosen repeat until, so what can he write? Count equals to 1, repeat, output, please enter a name, input name. Names of count equals to names of count equals to name, count, assignment operator count plus 1 until count greater than 10. So here we can see, since we are asked to do the same task 10 times, that's why repeat until is one option. And here you can see the difference is in these lines. The first line is your, now let me highlight so that we can remember that this is the first line that is different. This is the next line that is different, that we have to handle with until, and we definitely need the increment to be done, whether it's my while loop or whether it's my repeat until loop. Again, you can see the first is the use of count equals to 1, initializing. The while loop is checking the condition first, while count less than or equal to 10 do. Then we are talking about the value of incrementing also. The rest of the lines are the same. So the same way input is taken after the message is there for the user, the same way we are talking about the names of count equals to name. So till this point, it's the same. The only change is occurring, as you can see, in the variables count, initializing, and the until count, the condition being checked, or whether you are using it with a while and an end while. So this is what is the difference. The rest of the stuff is the same. I hope that this is what we have already practiced. This is such a simple question. And in this manner, if you have mentioned any of the two condition controlled loops, then you will be able to score 4 out of 4. But be cautious. This is what you are required to write. Any questions? Okay, let's move to the next question. A telephone number with 13 characters is input. The first character is a plus, followed by a two-digit country code, for example, plus 20, where 20 is the country code and X is a digit between 0 and 9 inclusive. Algorithm includes checks for the country codes, 44 for the UK and 20 for Egypt. Write an algorithm using pseudocode to, now you can see these are my instructions. The first instruction says to input the telephone number. The first one is my input. Second one is to extract the two-digit country code. Third thing is I need to output the matching country. Matching country means this is the matching country. As you can see, the matching country is 44 for the UK and 20 for Egypt. And it's a string value exactly. And output unknown if there is no matching country. Like if it's not 44 or 20, the message will be unknown if that is not matching. Now, this is a question that is carrying 5 marks. Now you can see for yourself, either you do it with either with whether you do it with if or you do it with case and case, they both are okay. So yeah, now how will you score 5 marks? Correct input is taken. Use of substring, definitely you want to extract. So for that reason, the use of substring, you need to extract for the first 2 letters, the first 2 digits in from the string. And since it is a string value, that's why the input is in string and the value is going to be extracted using the substring function. Then the use of correct if statement or correct say case statement with matching end if and end case, and output of unknown. So these are the requirements. So let's see how is the student supposed to write the answer to score the marks. Now you can see first thing is output and input. This is something that you can see is a message for the user so that he knows what he has to do, and input is taken. After that, what is the next stage? You can see after the input is taken, the use of substring, and I hope that we all remember the syntax of substring is first is the string value, then comma, then we mention the location from where to extract, and then the number of characters. So that is why you can see this was the format and extract the 2-digit country code. So this is what is needed actually. Okay. And then it will be if value equals to, now we are just simply checking the condition. If value equals to 44, then output UK. Else if value equals to 20, then output Egypt. Else output unknown. End if. You have written the right substring, you have checked the right substring, you have performed the if condition properly, then definitely your answer will be considered as a correct answer. I think it's very simple, the use of if. And on the contrary, if a student has chosen to use case, again, no worries. The first lines are the same, input taken, after the message is there, value extracted using substring, and then case of value 44, since it's your string value, that's why within quotations, double quotations, output UK, 20 output Egypt, otherwise output unknown, and the use of end case in the end. This is how you will be able to score 5 out of 5 if you have mentioned everything accurately. Now, next one is part B of the same question. Explain how could you chain the algorithm to repeatedly prompt for the telephone number until the number entered is 13 characters in length. Now you can see repeatedly and asking the person to enter the telephone number, and it's going to be till the number, till the length of the number entered is basically the 13 characters long. So what am I expected to write? It's a 3-mark question, and any code used must be fully explained. Again, they're asking me to explain 1 mark per bullet point and maximum 3. First thing is I have to find the length of the input. Use a suitable loop structure which can be a repeat until or while when while. Please be clear. The use of for is not feasible in this situation. Using the correct condition and prompt for a 13-digit number in case the number is not entered properly, and input inside the loop. So we are not expected to write the algorithm. We are only expected to explain how will we be changing the algorithm to perform this activity, to repeatedly prompt the person to enter the telephone number until the number entered is 13 characters in length. So first thing is, since it is the length one, that's why it means I have to perform the length thing here. Okay. Using the length function, I can perform this activity. And again, only the explanation is needed here. Question number 5. Two library routines used in programming are mod and div. State the purpose of each of the library routines. Give the example pseudocode statement for each of the library routines. I'm supposed to write the library routine and I'm supposed to give an example to explain the purpose. Now you can say mod. Mod does what? It is returning the remainder of a division calculation. Like you know very well that mod is there to return the remainder. An example can be any, like x assignment operator mod 10 comma 3. That's completely okay. And another student can write y equals to mod 25 comma 5. That's perfectly okay. So example may vary and purpose explanation may vary, but you all are supposed to concentrate on the main term of remainder. Actually, mod is meant to give us the remainder. That is what you need to be very clear about. Remainder of a division calculation. Moving to the div, div is performing integer division, or you can say it is going to return the quotient of a division. So just be clear, mod is returning the remainder and div is returning the quotient of a division. So if a student has written this, perfectly okay. And if he has given any example like this, it again, just be clear, it may vary also. Like it's not necessary that every time when you are mentioning with mod 10 comma 3, then you have to mention div 10 comma 3 also. It may vary, but you need to be aware that the right syntax for it is needed actually. Like you can say y assignment operator div 10 comma 3, another student can say y assignment operator div 25 comma 5. Anything can be written and you will be able to score the marks. 4 marks means 1 mark for the purpose of mod, 1 mark for purpose of div, another mark for example of example pseudocode of mod, another mark for example pseudocode of div function. Question number 6. An algorithm has been written in pseudocode to generate a random integer between 1 and 100 inclusive and store the value in n. The user enters a guess for the number and the algorithm indicates whether the guess is higher or lower than the random number. The algorithm outputs the number of guesses when the user has correctly guessed the random number. It's a guess game actually, but then it's going to be handling a random number generation. Now just let's read together the first line. Counter equals to 0, n, assignment operator round, random into 99, comma 1 plus 1. And then we are talking about repeat. Output, please enter a guess. Input G. If G is greater than n, then output the number is lower than your guess. Else, if G is less than n, then output the number is lower than your guess. End if. Counter equals to counter plus 1. End if again until G equals to n. Output, well done. You took guess attempts. Now this is the whole pseudocode. Identify the numbers of the 4 errors in the pseudocode and suggest a correction for each error. Giving you 2 minutes to go through yourself and then we will discuss the answers together. I think some of us are able to identify the options, the lines that are incorrect. So let's see. The first error is in line number 2. As you can see, we are asked to generate a number between 1 and 100 inclusive. And here you can see it's generating a random number using 99, 1. It means the error is here. Okay. Now, second error, as you can see, somewhere here, if G, your guess is greater than number N, then output the number is lower than your guess. Else, if G is less than N, then output the number is lower than your guess. So how is it possible? Situations are different. Guess is greater than number. So the option, the message will be the number is lower than your guess. Else, if G is less than N, so the number is lower. Does it make sense? Okay. Then another thing that is immediately striking our mind is output well done. You took guess attempts. Actually, guess was the choice that the person has guessed. Enter a guess. So actually, a person is supposed to go for how many guesses, how many attempts he has taken. So attempts are not handled through guess. So therefore, let's see, is our matching. So you can see the first error, as we mentioned, line number 2, or a student can write down the whole line also. That's perfectly okay. And the problem was here, actually, it should not be round, 1. It should be round, 0, because then only we are going to get a whole number value. Otherwise, if we are rounding off till one place, it means it will be generating a real value. That was the mistake here. Then another one, as we guessed accurately, line number 12 has an error. The number is lower than your guess. That is wrong. It should be the number is higher than your guess. So we have identified that if guess is greater than number, then the number is lower than your guess. Perfectly okay. But if G is less than N, if our guess is less than number, then it should be the number is greater than your guess. And that is a mistake, higher than your guess or greater than your guess. And then line number, this one, counter equals to counter plus 1. See, if you have talked about this one, this is again the placement of counter equals to counter plus 1 is a little incorrect. So this counter will not be coming within if. This counter should be outside if and if. And that's why the third error is basically in line number 14's placement. And it should be either placed after line 15, or it should be after end if, a student can say, or it should be before until G equals to N, or before line 16. That's also correct. So actually the main thing is identification of this problem area that you can see here. In this case, if I write it here, it means whenever this condition is true, then the value of counter will be increased by 1. Although the value of counter should be increased by 1 in here, not here. So the placement of this line is incorrect, and a student can write down anything like he can say it should be placed after line 15, or he can say after end if, or he can even say it should be any placed before until G equals to N, or it should be placed after like before line 16. That's also perfectly okay. So writing the error detection correction is perfectly okay. A student can write any. And as we had mentioned accurately, that another error is in line number 17. Output well done, you took guess attempts. That is wrong. Guess is the number that a person is guessing. So it should be counter attempts. So this was the actual mistake identified accurately, and you will be definitely scoring 4 out of 5. Be clear, if you have identified the error line and not written the correction, then you will not score any mark at all. So be clear, your both should be accurate for each error, and only then you will be scoring full marks. Okay, just pay attention, and definitely the questions are never difficult. Now the same question 5 as question number 6, B part. Identify one method to make the algorithm maintainable. Now you know maintainable means what? It should be using meaningful identifiers. As you can see, G and N are not very meaningful. Instead of this, if I had used N, or if I had used guess, that would have been a better option. Okay, like actually we can see here that we had used G for input of guess, and then again, by the way, there's no variable by the name guess also. So that is also a very clear indication that our value is wrong. And again, you can see N and G are not very maintainable programs. So are not very maintainable variables. So that is something not can say meaningful identifier. So the very first thing, as you can see, meaningful identifiers should have been used, like instead of using n, we should have used a number. And another one is the comments. If, for example, the comments were there, then my program would have been more would have been better. And we can include the procedures or functions also. So making the problem, making the algorithm, like we can use, rather than using an algorithm, we can use procedures or a function to make the guesses. So that is also something that is possible. So if a student has mentioned any of these 2 points, he'll be scoring 2 out of 2. Like we have been getting questions regarding the maintainability of our algorithm. So this is what they expect us to write here. Okay, now question number 7. Consider the logic expression x equals to a and b, XOR b or not c. Draw a logic circuit for this logic expression. So you can see, for first of all, a and b. How is it being done? A and, this is my AND gate, and another one is coming from here, and I get A and B. Then the next thing is the use of B or not C. So next thing is we are using, first of all, the same signal coming from B, and that is what you can see here. It's moving to the OR gate. C is moving to the NOT gate first. From here, it's moving to the OR gate, and then the result of the two is moving to the XOR gate, which is your last thing here. And you can see the XOR gate is the last one. So this is your XOR gate, and this is your XOR gate. So this is getting input coming from here, this getting input coming from here, and the result is moving here. So this is the whole thing. You have drawn it accurately using the right symbols, drawing the right lines, showing that with a dot that this is B is being reused, and definitely you will be scoring 4 out of 4. Now complete the truth table for the given logic expression. Now working space is there. The first one is A and B, then B or not C, and the last one is X, which is the XOR operation performed on this. Now you can see here, just for the simplicity, we have handled A and B. You can see here. And for A and B, we have simply taken these two right now. You can see A and B. Now you can see 0 and 0 are 0, 0 and 0 are 0, 0 and 1 are 0. Similarly, 0 and 1 is a 0, 1 and 0 is a 0, 1 and 0 is a 0, 1 and 1 is a 1, and 1 and 1 is a 1. So A and B is mentioned here. After that, it was B or not C. So just for the purpose of simplicity, we have done not C here. Not C means the reverse of C. So here we can see that we have done the reverse of C here. This is my C, and the reverse of C is done here with the not C. And 0 becomes a 1, 1 became a 0, 0 became a 1, 1 became a 0, 0 became a 1, 1 became a 0, 0 became a 1, 1 became a 0. So this is my not C. Okay, I think that makes sense. So that makes sense that we have used the NOT gate. Now moving to the B or not C. For this, we can see that B or not C means that we are going to use the signal B. Not audible, not visible. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Okay, just a minute. B or not C. Now we are going to take the signal from here B, and we are going to take the signal from here, and we are going to perform the not operation here. We are going to perform the OR operation here. B or not C, 0 or 1 a 1, 0 or 0 a 0, 1 or 1 is a 1, 1 or 0 is a 1, 0 or 1 is a 1, 0 or 0 is a 0, then 1 for B, and definitely 1 here, so it's a 1, and another 1 here, and another 0 here, that's a 1. So my answer for B or not C will be 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1. This is my answer for B or not C. Now my last thing is applying the, which gate? Applying the XOR gate. And here we can see this is going to be the result coming from the two, A and B, XOR B or not C. Now you can see this is my 0 or XOR 1. Opposites are 1, 0 or 0 same as 0, 0 or 1 opposites are 1, 0 or 1 opposites are 1, 0 or 1 opposites are 1. Then we have 0 or 0 same is a 0, 0 or 1 or 1 same is a 0, 1 or 0 1 or 1 same is a 0. So in this manner, your final answer for X will be 1 0 1 1 1 0 0 0, and this will give you 4 out of 4. Moving to the next question. A company has set up a new database table called bus to store details of the buses leaving the main bus terminal. So here you can see these are your data items: route ID, destination, stops, driver, time, return. These are your values: BC01, BC02, BC03, BC04, etc. All the records are here. And let's see what is the first question asking me to do. Identify one appropriate data type for the field return. Now this is my field return. Now you can see the field is return, and looking at the data, what do we come across? Yes, no, yes, no. It means it is a Boolean, exactly. So that is why identification of the appropriate data type is going to be Boolean. State the reason for the data type you have chosen. So we have just discussed there are only two options, two responses, only a yes or a no, only true or false are stored in this manner. If you have mentioned, then it will be giving you 1 out of 1. 1 out of 1 for identifying the right data type, and 1 out of 1 for identifying the reason of your choice. Be clear, it can never be a string value. Now, next one is write the output from this SQL statement. Select route ID, comma, destination, comma, time from bus where driver equals to A Patel. Now we have to display ID, route ID, destination, and time of all the routes where the driver is A Patel. Now let's identify. The first one is the route ID, the destination, and the time were required. And for the person A Patel. Now you can see A Patel is here. Now if you move down, A Patel is here. If we move down further, A Patel is here. So we have 3 records where the driver is A Patel. And what am I supposed to mention? That is very clearly written, that you have to write down the destination ID, the destination, the route ID, and the time interval of the driver A Patel. To what are going to be the answers? The first answer, as we had identified right now, was, now you can see the very first record as we have identified was this one, BC02, the fountain, and 910. As you can see, BC02, the fountain, and 910, exactly in the same manner and in the same line. Then after that, the identification of the second record where the driver is A Patel. That is this one, BC08, Sunset Quay, and the time was 12:01. And let's see, this is how we have written the second, BC08, Sunset Quay, and 12:01. And the third, when it's A Patel, it's BC27, the university, 16:45, and that is coming as the third record, and it's a 2-mark question, and you will be able to score 2 out of 2. If you have written the right records and you have written in them in the right order also. Now moving to the next part. Complete the SQL statement to display only the destination of the buses that have a return. Have a return means that have a return of yes, basically. Have a return means that is, it's a yes. So you can see select only the destination. It means I am only supposed to display the destination. That's why select destination from bus where return equals to yes. Be clear, the field name should be exactly as we wanted, where return equals to yes, and this will complete my work. Now moving to the next question. The variables A and B are used in a program. A holds a whole number and B holds a text. Write pseudocode statements to declare the variables A and B. Now be clear, A is holding a whole number and B is holding a text value. So that is why declare A colon integer, declare B colon string. That will give you 2 out of 2 for using the right declaration statement with the right data type. So simple. Now moving to the next part. Write pseudocode statement to define the function. Okay, by the way, the function odds x returns odd if the value of x is an odd number and returns even if the value of x is an even number. Write pseudocode statements to define the function, call the function using parameters a, and store the return item in variable b. And we are asked to write the function and call the function. Actually, there are marks for different things. One is for function declaration and second one is for function call. And this, it's a 6-mark question. So how will I score actually? 1 mark for using the keyword function and end function and then returns. This will give you 1 mark. 1 mark is for using the right term like odds. You cannot change it as per your choice. 1 mark for defining the program, the parameter correctly. 1 mark for determining if odd or even is used using mod or div or round function. Or 1 mark for correctly returning odd and even. 1 mark for correct function call. So you can see, now you can see if, now x is my variable that is holding a number and that is an integer. Okay, as you can see, function odds x integer returns string. Returns string because it is returning even or odd. And very simple thing, if mod x comma 2 equals to 0. Like if I am dividing, and this is what we have done just now, the use of mod and div we are okay with, like right now we have talked about it. If mod x comma 2 means I'm dividing x by 2 and the remainder is 0. It means that it's an even number. Else the number is an odd number. That is understandable because the mod function is returning the remainder. So definitely we know the number is even number. The return value, the remainder is 0. And the number is an odd number, the remainder is 1. If the number is an even number, the remainder is 0. So that is why if mod x comma 2 equals to 0, then return even, else return odd, and if. Be clear, the use of returns in the function declaration, and when you are returning, it's the word return. And then you mention whatever you want to return. You want to return even or odd, whichever keywords you want to return, they will be mentioned here, and end function will end your function. This is the complete function definition, and that will give you definitely at least 5 marks. Now moving to the function call. See, so simple. It said the function and stores the return item in variable b. Call the function using parameter a means that this is the parameter a. Fine, this is the parameter a that is going to be definitely used in your function call. And by the way, you can use either the same a integer. That's perfectly okay. There's no harm in using this. That since nothing is mentioned, that's why we have taken next. We can take a also. And function call, be clear, b and a. This is very, very important because it says call the function using parameter a means call the function using parameter a and store the return item in variable b. So b is the return. That's why b, assignment operator odds a. That will be the right function call. Any questions, any ambiguity, anything that is unclear? Okay, fine. Thank you very much, Ali. I think it's very simple. We have been doing these activities in scenario-based questions, so definitely you are aware of it. Okay, now let's move to the last question, and that is a flowchart. The flowchart represents an algorithm to calculate grades, your favorite one. Start, input score. Is score greater than or equal to 40? Yes. Grade, assignment operator C. If that is not the case, like if the score is not above 40 or equal to 40, it's moving down and checking is score greater than or equal to 60. Yes, it will be displaying it will be storing the grade B in grade variable, and it will be moving the control to this line. If this is not the case, like score is not greater than or equal to 40, score is not greater than or equal to 60, in this case, it is moving down to check the score is greater than or equal to 80. Yes, so grade will be A, and then again the control is moving here. And otherwise, if the score is not above or equal to 40, score is not above or equal to 60, score is not above or equal to 80, it means the assignment will be the grade D. And then after that, no matter whether the assignment is grade D or A or B or C, then control is now moving to the last output. You achieved grade. So whatever grade has been assigned, that will be now stored in the variable, like with the output. And you are stopping the pseudocode. You are stopping the flowchart. Complete the trace table for the algorithm using the input data. Now this is your input data, 21, 46, 63, 91, and 12. Now just apply, just remember this one. If it's above or equal to 40, then its grade is C. Above or equal to 60, then grade is B. Above or equal to 80, grade is A. And if this is not the case, then grade is D. The same, 40, 80, 40, 60, 80. Now first one, 21. Not greater than or equal to 40, not greater than or equal to 60, not greater than or equal to 80. It means it is assigning the variable grade with a value D. So score is 21, the grade assigned is D, and you have a message, you achieved a D. Perfect. Okay. Now moving to the second situation, 46. Now if 46 is input, you can see greater than or equal to 40, condition is true. So it is assigning, because the value is 46 and the first is your greater than or equal to 40. The condition is true. So assignment of the grade is C. Perfectly okay till now. The grade assignment is C, and the student is getting a C grade, and he is getting a message, you achieved a C. Till now, that's perfectly okay. Now moving to situation number 3, this third test data, 63. Now, in reality, if you talk about 63, and if we move back to our flowchart, input is 63, is score greater than or equal to 40? Is 63 greater than or equal to 40? Yes. So in this case, it will definitely be moving to this part, and grade will be assigned as C because the value is greater than or equal to 40. So it will not move further for any sort of check, and it will be assigning the grade C to the student who has scored 63 marks, and he will be getting a message, you achieved a C. Now let's move to very like 91. 91 is a good grade, definitely kudos to the child. But if you to come across our flowchart, 91 is the score, and if we apply the same 91 here to our flowchart, greater than or equal to 40, yes, it will be immediately assigning the grade C to the child. Got it? He will be scoring 91, and still he will be getting a message, you achieved a C. And the last one, 12, definitely for 12, he will be moving to the grade D, and message will be, you achieved a D. That makes sense. Not greater than 40, not greater than equal to 60 or 80, definitely he is scoring he's a D, and he got a message, you achieved a D. Perfectly okay. I hope that till now, although it seems to be a little bit, you can say, not very correct, but still that is how the flowchart is working. And there are 3 marks for that. Explain how the flowchart could be changed to produce the correct output. So you can see this one is not correct. This message is incorrect. And that is definitely a problem in the flowchart. So what do you think is the problem here? 21 correct, 12 correct, 46 correct. But when you talk about 63 and 91, then that is a real problem. So what they expect us to write to score the full marks? Like what are the marks? Actually, it's a 4-mark question. So how can I do it? I think we are very clear about the whole process. What are they expect us to make the changes? Change the decision in the first box to is score greater than or equals to 80. And the last box will be great is the last decision. Like we simply are supposed to move this condition, which is written in the end, to the condition as a first condition. Like we are going to check, is score greater than or equals to 80? Yes. So definitely grade will be equal to A. Another change that we need to bring in here is not only this will be changed, but the value assigned to the variable grade will also be changing to A from C. Now, I think we have identified it. The first identification is I am going to make amendments in this one. Fine. And okay, now this is what we are doing. And we definitely need to make amendments in this one also. Like it should be now A. After 80, it should be now greater than or equals to 80 is something that it has struck our mind right now, that this is what is the amendment needed along with the amendment in the grade equals to A. Perfect. Now, what else we have talked about is it should not be greater than or equals to 80 here. It should be greater than or equals to 40 here. Perfect. And definitely the grade assignment will be changing here also. It should not be grade A. It should be grade C. Perfect. Now, let's see what else is the change that is needed here. Change the first decision box to is score greater than or equals to 80. Change the last decision box to is score greater than or equals to 40. Change the process box from grade C to grade equals to grade assignment operator A. Similarly, change the process box from grade assignment operator A to grade assignment operator C. And besides this, what else we can do is a student can write down add output box, instructing the users to input score or input -1 before the input box, initializing a counter, and add decision box for loop to exit condition and correct arrows for showing the loop. What else can I do? Like you can see, again, it stops. After one input is taken, it stops. We can iterate it, and that iteration will be a count control loop. And for that, we can go for an input of -1 to terminate the loop. And this can also be added to score 4 out of 4. Because till now, it is working only once. If I want to make it better, I can make it iterate as per the user's choice. I hope that this whole learning has been beneficial. The last question of scenario-based question, inshallah, will be uploaded very soon. So keep yourselves updated, like and follow my channel so that you are aware of the latest updates that are coming regularly that are uploaded also. Jazakallah khairan kaseera for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have liked the video. Subscribe and share with your friends and family so they all are going to benefit from it. Take very good care of yourselves and your loved ones. Keep studying, keep praying. May Allah bless you. May Allah help you. Allah Hafiz.